Well, here in Iowa, there's no requirement that an ambulance will show up when someone dials 911. Multiple counties offered making emergency medical services an essential service on ballots last week. Local 5's Connor O'Neill joins us to share what happens next for the counties that turned that down.
Yeah, Stephanie, well, the most notable difference is that it will take longer for ambulances to show up in the smaller cities and towns and the counties that turned it down. The measure failed in multiple counties, including in Page and Taylor in southwest Iowa, who I spoke with earlier today about their next steps. Election results show that a tax levy to make emergency medical services essential in Buchanan, Floyd, Guthrie, Page, and Taylor counties failed to receive the required 60% of votes needed to pass. It would have raised taxes between $60 to $75 per $100,000 of property annually.
We're kind of the only public service out there that responds to emergencies across Iowa that receives zero assistance through taxing or anything like that.
Emergency services like having an ambulance show up when you call 911 is not a defined essential service in Iowa. Back in 2021, Governor Reynolds signed a law leaving it up to the counties to vote on whether to raise property taxes to fund EMS instead of city departments self-funding or receiving money from the hospital it's based out of to operate.
We wanted to entice people to get into EMS in those communities by paying for their education and paying for them to have equipment that is needed to be able to respond to calls, and then put somebody on that truck.
So what happens now in a county like Page? Well, larger communities will still be relied on to assist and respond to calls in the smaller towns because most of those are volunteer-based and may only have one person in the entire EMS department, meaning it will take even longer for an ambulance to respond.
So it's even more important in an area where you're going to travel 30 minutes before you can get to an emergency room, and you don't want to wait 30 to 40 minutes for an ambulance to come get you.
Taylor County said it's interested in bringing up a similar vote in future elections, while Page County said it's unsure. But both agreed they'll continue doing the best they can. And we received questions about why these tax levies and bond referendums can't pass if it received a majority of the votes. Well, state mandate says these levies must get 60% of votes to go into effect.